Good evening one and all. Today I am going to present a new video about skeletal manifestation of neurofibromatosis, and this video lecture mainly contains the X-ray findings of skeletal manifestations of neurofibromatosis. Introduction. It's an inherited disorder. It is autosomal dominant disease. 1 in 3000 births is an approximate incidence of neurofibromatosis. It has equal predominance in both males and females. 50% of the patients with neurofibromatosis develop capillary spots. Presence of 6 or more of these spots measuring 1.5 cm or more is considered clinically diagnostic as neurofibromatosis. Spinal involvement may include paraplegia, kyphoscoliosis, and atlantoaxial subluxation. X-ray findings. 50% of the cases develop skeletal manifestations, and these are usually picked up on an X-ray. Before we move on to the skull manifestations, I want you guys to know the normal anatomy of the spinodal wings. The one that we see horizontally oriented on a skull X-ray is a lesser wing of sphenoid. The one that is vertically oriented is a greater wing of sphenoid. The classical bare orbit sign of neurofibromatosis. It's mainly because of hypoplasia of the posterior wall of an orbit, because of underdevelopment of the sphenoid bones. Here we can see that the greater wing of sphenoid is not visualized, which is a classical bare orbit sign of neurofibromatosis. Lambert suture defect or an Astron defect. Here we see a well demarcated radiolucent lesion involving the Lambert suture. This is called as an Astron defect or a Lambert suture defect, which is classical of neurofibromatosis. Spinal manifestations. It mainly includes scoliosis, vertebral body scalloping, intrathoracic meningocele, and acute angular kyphosis. Short acute angular kyphosis. Here we can see that there is acute angular kyphotic deformity involving the cervical spine on the lateral view of a cervical spine. There is also associated dysplastic changes of C4, C5, and C6 vertebral bodies. Vertebral body scalloping. Here we can see there's a well demarcated scalloping involving the posterior margins of the vertebral bodies. There's associated marginal sclerosis of that of the vertebral body margins. This is mainly because of secondary erosive changes and compressions caused by the neurofibromatosis. Intrathoracic meningocele. So guys, here we can see that there's an AP view of the cervical spine. We can see that the trachea has been deviated to the contralateral side. This scoliotic deformity, as we can see by the angular orientations of that of the spinous process of the vertebral bodies. There is a well demarcated radiodense lesion in the right paraspinal region, and this lesion is demarcated by the air of that of the lung. It's a classical posterior mediastinal lesion, that is an intrathoracic meningocele. Vertebral erosion associated with dumbbell neurofibroma. So here we can see that this is the normal appearance of the pedicles. But on this vertebral body, the right pedicle is not visualized, and there is a well demarcated lesion that is causing pressure erosions of the visualized vertebral body. This margin is also having subtle sclerosis of erosions. This is a classical appearance of a neurofibroma causing the vertebral body erosion or pedicle erosion on an AP view. On the lateral view of the same case, we can see that there is posterior vertebral body scalloping with associated vertebral body marginal sclerosis. The oblique view of the same case shows there is enlarged intervertebral foramen caused by that other dumbbell-shaped neurofibroma. Dumbbell neurofibroma. As I said previously, the pedicle has to be visualized like this. Here we can see there is isolated non-visualization of that other pedicle on the left side. This is an indirect marker of neurofibroma. The same case when he underwent a CT scan, on axial view we see there's a soft tissue density lesion, a dumbbell shaped lesion that's protruding through the intervertebral foramen with associated erosion of that other pedicle and enlargement of intervertebral foramen. Ribbon-like appearance of that of the ribs. Here we can see that the inferior margins of the ribs is well demarcated and eroded. It's mainly because of that of the neurofibromatosis involving the intercostal nerves, causing the pressure erosions of the inferior vertebral body margins, giving them a classical ribbon-like appearance of that of the ribs. Extraspinal manifestations of that of neurofibromatosis. Here we can see that there is an image of that of the AP view of that of the knee. Here there is an extrinsic pressure erosions of that of the posterior lateral aspect of that of the tibia, mainly caused by that of the extrinsic compression by neurofibromatosis. The margins of the erosion also appear sclerotic and well demarcated. Neurofibromatosis of foot. This is a case where where there are multiple neurofibromas involving the nerves of the foot, causing pressure erosions of the metatarsal bones, giving them a classical ribbon-like appearance. Pseudoarthrosis of long bones. Pseudoarthrosis means it's nothing but a pathological fracture where there is inability to form a normal callus and there is failure of healing of the bone. Here the midshaft of ulna is fractured and there is no normal callus formation, resulting in a pseudoarthrosis of the fracture ends. Bowing deformity. This mainly occurs because of the alterations of the bony texture in a case of neurofibromatosis. Here we can see that AP view of the leg showing the bowing deformity of the mid shaft of the tibia in a case of neurofibromatosis. Neurofibromatosis are also associated with multiple non-ossifying fibroma. Here we can see there's multiple well-defined or well-demarcated radiolucent lesion that's known to present eccentrically located in the metaphyseal regions of the distal femur, proximal tibia, proximal fibula and proximal tibia. These lesions are having a well-defined margin of sclerosis surrounding it, suggestive of benign etiology, and there's a narrow zone of transition. Multiple non-ossifying fibromas are a classical appearance of neurofibromatosis. Focal gigantism in neurofibromatosis. Localized skeletal enlargement or a focal gigantism affecting the skeletal structures of the third digit or a soft tissue hypertrophy is noted here. Here we can see there's focal enlargement of the middle phalanges, and there's also soft tissue hypertrophy surrounding the phalanx. The pathogenesis behind this is that there's chronic hyperemia owing to the hemangiomas and lymphangiomatosis lesions associated with neurofibromatosis. So focal gigantism is also an appearance of neurofibromatosis. This can come as a spotter in your MCQ exams. I hope this video has helped you all. Thank you.